So, let's talk about this. Okay, so first of all, just to reiterate, your timeline, your quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're splitting a measure into 4 equal parts. We call that our timeline. We can split it up further in half, which would give us 8 notes, which would sound like this. You go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So just to play measure 11 again, without that first thing in the right hand. But if you just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Gotcha.
You're either playing together, left, right, or nothing. In this case, it's left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. Those are the only options. The further subdivision are 16th notes. And that, so instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we go 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and So notice the and, if I go 1E and when I'm saying and, that is the 8th note still. So going 1 and 2 and is the same as 1E and 2E and
Okay.
So I'm just putting an extra note on either side of the and. And that's what gives us 16th notes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 16th notes are going to work just the same as the other ones, as far as you can play your left hand on any one of those 16. Notice there are 16 slots in a measure of 4/4 for 16th notes. There's 4 quarter notes, 8 eighth notes, 16 16th notes. On each of the available spots where the 16th notes are, you can either play a note with your left hand, play a note with your right hand, play together, or nothing.
Okay.
And that's how, and this is happening whether we're utilizing that timeline or not. In other words, on the previous example, measure 11, if I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, in my mind, I could be, if I just really like to think a lot, I could be subdividing in 16th notes.
Mm-hmm.
1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and.
Okay.
So it's still dot, 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 dot. It's there whether you're utilizing it or not. So when we get to measure 12, there's just that one note that is on the 16th note timeline. So you got to switch gears for a second. If you're just thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you got to go real quick. 1E and 1E and it's really quick. So what we're gonna do, 1E, we're gonna slow that measure down. We're gonna slow that measure down in half to the other tempo. So if this is 1 and 2 and, we're gonna play the next measure that slow, but that's gonna be our 16th note. So in other words, you're gonna go like this: 1E and So it's slow. It's not that big a deal. Together, rest, left, right. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and
Okay.
Super slow. But if you practice it with a metronome at that speed, your brain will get it.
Okay.
Once you get, because it's huge. This is like, you put a microscope on something and discover there's a whole new world there that's been happening this whole time. So let's do it one more time.
Okay.
So it's 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and super slow. Those bass notes just a second ago were, and now they're.
Okay.
They were really quick. now they're slow. But you have to be able to do that in order to learn how to switch gears really quick.
Okay.
Because what it would sound like in my head, if I'm playing along, I'm going to do it slow again, I'll count in my head, out loud, what's happening in my head. Starting at measure 11. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E. Oh shit. 1 E. 1 E.
See, it is hard.
I don't do this. It's hard to do it out loud. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. I wouldn't actually do it for the whole measure.
Okay.
I would just do it for the first beat until because it kind of throws you until you get.
Yeah.
You got to really stick that landing on the end of 2. Whew, let's try that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and that's probably how I would sort of get myself to do it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and so you see how I switched from counting the 16th notes back to counting the 8th notes.
Right.
But the speed didn't change for the 1 and 2 and.
Okay. Okay.
So,
All right. I'll do that super slow.
yeah, and then slowly speed it up. You'll get it.